Finally, something happened. Finally. I think this is bogus. I think it's petty. I don't think this is enough. It's a slap on the wrist. It looks like Alyssa Thomas was suspended. Finally. But this has been the epicenter of the sports world conversation today, has been this entire situation, fist to throat, all types of stuff. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. Let's get right into it. The WNBA issued a statement. Even Kelly Krauskopf came from out of her cave. I don't know where she's been when it comes to everything else going on surrounding the.
It is finally official. The WNBA has issued a statement, and to absolutely no one's surprise, it is a complete, pathetic joke. Alyssa Thomas has been suspended for exactly one game for her hand-to-the-throat incident against Caitlin Clark. One game. That is not discipline. That is a literal slap on the wrist designed to make the league look like it's doing something while actually guaranteeing that the targeting continues. This league is currently operating as a circus, and if you think a single game penalty sends any kind of stern message, you haven't been paying attention to the systemic resentment bubbling over in every single arena. You are tuned into WNBA Verdict, the only platform that isn't afraid to call out the rotting core of this organization. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let's expose the truth about the league that is actively trying to sabotage its own cash cow. The most telling part of this entire fiasco isn't even the suspension itself. It's the fact that it took this level of blatant violence for the mainstream media to finally wake up. For months, we have been screaming into the void about the toxic workplace environment and the blatant, UFC-style, officiating that targets Caitlin Clark. But today, the bigwigs finally showed up. Colin Cowherd didn't mince words, calling the league incompetent and unserious, pointing to the 30-year commemorative poster that somehow managed to omit the most impactful player in the history of the sport. They have the time and the budget to include other stars, but when it comes to Clark, the league goes completely blind. It is paranoid, it is weird, and frankly, it is embarrassing. Let's talk about the 30-year poster, because it perfectly
the toxic workplace going on in Indiana, but she came out of her cave today, finally. Okay, the WNBA issued a statement upon post-game review. The Phoenix Mercury's Alyssa Thomas has received a flagrant foul 2 penalty and a 1-game suspension. If that was going to suspend her for 1 game, it's like doing nothing. Like this league is a joke. This league is a joke. How do you get a 1-game suspension for that? You need to make a statement. You need to protect your players. She should have been suspended for at least, I would say, 5 games. 5-game suspension would have sufficed for me.
encapsulates the institutional rot. This isn't an oversight. This is a deliberate, calculated snub. If the NFL did a commemorative poster, Patrick Mahomes would be front and center. If the NBA did one, you'd see the faces that define the era. The WNBA is so deeply resentful of Caitlin Clark's rapid, unprecedented success that they would rather exclude their most recognizable face than give her the credit she has earned on the hardwood. This is a league that pivoted from flying commercial to private jets only after Clark arrived, yet they treat her like an unwanted guest. It's a level of institutional insecurity that we have never seen in professional sports. Even Stephen A. Smith finally stepped into the arena today, and he hit the nail directly on the head. He pointed out that there is a palpable resentment toward Clark's star power. He compared her to the early days of Tiger Woods, when older golfers were annoyed by the attention, until they realized that Tiger's dominance made everyone's purses get bigger. The WNBA is currently too busy letting their egos and outdated grudges run the show to realize that a rising tide is supposed to lift all boats. Instead, they are actively trying to drown the person who is literally paying their salaries. And don't think for 1 second that the blame stops at the league office. The Indiana Fever's front office, from team president Kelly Krauskopf to Amber Cox, has been essentially MIA throughout this entire smear campaign. Krauskopf finally crawled out of her cave to issue a toothless statement about player safety. But it was way too little, way too late. This front office has overseen a toxic product, enabled an incompetent coaching staff, and completely.
That would have sent, a pretty stern message. But 1 game is like literally a slap on the wrist. Pardon. just wreaking havoc and just being a menace. And it's not the first time we've seen Alyssa Thomas do this. We saw what she did to Nafisa Collier. We've seen her over the years. She's a plays like a goon. So
failed to defend their generational superstar from the constant, targeted physical assaults she faces every single night. Everyone in that front office, everyone, should be looking for a new line of work before the All-Star break. The product on the floor has become jailhouse basketball. We are watching regular season games officiated like a back alley brawl with absolutely no protection for the offensive players. When you watch the finals, you expect a physical man's game where the refs let them play. But in the WNBA, the freedom of movement rules seem to vanish the second Caitlin Clark touches the basketball. She is treated as a target, not a superstar, and the officiating crew is letting it happen. When your league is more worried about suppressing your own popularity than protecting your players, you aren't a serious professional league. You are a joke. But the saddest part of all this is that Caitlin Clark continues to take the high road while the rest of the league acts like a pack of vultures. She goes to the podium and takes the blame for turnovers she didn't even commit. She praises her teammates even when they miss the wide-open layups she creates. She is a consummate professional in a league that doesn't deserve her. Alyssa Thomas can push, shove, and swing her arms, but at the end of the day, she's a relic of a dying era who can't handle the fact that the game has moved on. The one-game suspension might be the league's final attempt to sweep this under the rug, but the fans see it. The ratings see it. The truth is out, and it's about time the WNBA starts acting like they want to survive. Get down in the comments. Are you done with this league's officiating? Or do you think this is just part of the game? I'll see you in the next one.